Hey, what's going on, guys? It's been a minute. JetXC is here, and we got wow, I was about to say Stellar Blade. We got a Snowbreak video here, and I hope everyone's been enjoying the patch. I know that sometimes these updates can be a little dry at times because content releases on certain dates, so you kind of have a bit of a lull time period. But in this video, I wanted to talk about how to get through content as a casual. Now, I've already said I'm a casual, right? So anytime you look at like power stats, if you're anywhere between 12 to 1500, you're like at the very top of the damage charts, right? So currently right now I have Katya, Haru, and Life are my 3 damage units that are completely built out. I'm working on Finny and Cheching. The reason I didn't build them up is because I want to save resources, and plus I kind of get bored of the shotgun gameplay from Finny, and Cheching I didn't really like as much as the other characters. And I'm currently working on Sherna right now. I don't have her weapon yet, so I just have some random weapon for the time being. But I really want to tell you guys a great way to really just focus on getting your characters to the point where you can finish content. So to keep things in perspective, I'm able to do literally everything in the game except, and I'll show you here. I always get confused of where this is at. Hang on. Where is it at? Operation. Okay. Neuralink. So I could do everything but beat 4 and 5 on neural simulation. Now I could beat 4, but I really have to dodge almost everything, kind of. And it sometimes gets difficult. So I could technically beat 4, but 5 I can't beat at all, probably. Right? So that kind of gives you an idea of where I'm at with this game. And I haven't spent a dime on weapon banner, so I have no 5-star weapons. Right? I don't have I don't have any 5-star weapons. I don't even have some of my characters don't even have the right logistics because I started at a later date. But either way, everything else I'm able to do just fine. So here's the thing you want to focus on. There's 2 things. One, when it comes to the standard banner, you get the operative recruitment tickets here, right? So there's a difference between these tickets and the manifestation tickets. These tickets you can get easily from going through the game. Play story mode. Make sure you do all the different operations and dispatches in the in operation mode. Make sure you do these, because if you complete these, you get certain rewards. If you do the I think even Paradoxical Labyrinth, you should get rewards, but mainly you want to get through the story. And the reason you want to get through the story is because you'll unlock certain tasks and stuff in the Supernova task here, which I almost got completed, where they'll give you a bunch of rewards. So you have to play through the story. As you play through the story, you're going to want to summon on this banner, and you'll get any of these characters. Hopefully you get Finny. Hopefully you get I guess Yao, but I feel like Yao is more fit for like Neuro Simulator or something like that. I can't imagine playing Yao and having that much fun on like story mode or PvE content after a long time. But hopefully you get any of these 5, right? And when you get any of these 5, obviously you're going to level them up. You're going to, and again, as you play through the story, you're going to unlock a lot of 4-star weapons. Now you might not get the weapon that you want exactly, right? But you'll get a 4-star weapon. If the operative does like chaos damage, you got to read the details. It'll tell you, right? So you got to read the different skills here. If they do chaos damage or electrical damage, you have to know that. So you might want to buy an electrical damage gun, right? So Finny disperses a ring of electrical energy and deals electric damage. So Finny overall does electric damage. So what you want to do is get an electric gun, right? Also, you want to make sure you're doing your logistics. So in that operation tab that I just showed you, I showed you a bunch of logistics that you can essentially do. So if you go here, farm this. If you farm this a couple times a day, and then you could set certain squads that you want, right? So again, if you want to look for the perfect squad for your character, look it up. There's plenty of guides, but they also have recommended oops, sorry. They also have recommended logistics that you can use. So, oh gosh, wow, where am I going? Sorry about this, guys. So let's say for, I don't know, Haru. So I've got a bunch of logistics on her already, but you see how it says recommended, recommended, recommended? Now, there's different tiers. There's purple tier and there's the golden tier. Obviously, golden tier will give you the most bang for your buck, right? But make sure you're reading what these logistics squads do. So 2 officers increases skill damage. That's huge for Haru because her E, which is her sword, is huge for her in the game. 3 officers uses a standard skill to gain 1 stack of golden osmanthus. Defeat a target to gain 5 stacks and use an ultimate skill to gain 10 stacks. Upon reaching 15 stacks, equipping operatives attack increases by 25%. So that's great for Haru because that synergizes with her ultimate and her skills, thus buffing her damage. So take a look at these. When it says recommended, check what it means. So skill damage up by 16, skill damage up by 32. So technically that wouldn't be bad for Haru if you don't have certain logistics. So the recommendations on this game is pretty good actually. But yeah. So what you want to make sure you do is you're leveling up logistics to 15. You're doing your manifestations, right? You're doing the personal files for manifestations every day. And you're leveling up your neurotics, right? So your nodes here activate the Daiwos. This is your Daiwos. Your Daiwos basically gives you extra stats. So after Haru deals damage to a target, if the target does not possess a shield and its current HP is lower than 40% of Haru's attack ratio, increased by 10% for every 100 alignment index, Haru will immediately deal true damage to the target equal to the target's current HP. Right? So if you complete this, you'll be doing even more damage. So here's what you're going to do. Level up your operative to 80. Get your weapon all the way up to 80. Get your logistics up to 15. Those 3 things alone, guys, will get you to doing damage and a lot of in-game content. Take your time on your neuronics. Make sure you're farming the material for these neuronics, guys. So you got to put in the work to get here. Once you get to a point like this, you'll really start doing damage. Right? And if you... Let me go back. If you take a look at your neuronics, right? It will actually show you... Here. It'll actually show you where you can farm these. So if you click source, here's the sources. See, I'm out of the quantum cell. If I click source, I could go here to check it out. So always make sure you're farming those resources. Now, let's get into something interesting here, right? So before I get into talking about events, let's say you don't know what your character does. Make sure you read the skills. Know what they do. Know what type of damage they're doing. Chaos damage, right? So we know Cherno does chaos damage, so you want to try your best to implement the best things for the user. Now, currently right now, we have certain stats. Skill haste is cooldown. Auxiliary unit strength is essentially... The best example I could give of auxiliary unit strength is it is basically... If you've seen 4-star life, use 4-star life, and when she shoots out her Raven missiles, those are auxiliary units. So it's essentially something that's summoned up by a unit and is used to attack a bunch of enemies. And it will actually tell you if your unit does auxiliary damage. So if you have a unit that does auxiliary unit strength, you can actually level that up, and I'll talk about that in a second. Alignment index. Alignment index strengthens the effect of the Daiwos alignment. Now, I have that at 292 currently. What's the Daiwos alignment? I just told you earlier. This here. This is the Daiwos alignment. So it'll take these stats and buff these stats, thereby helping you do more damage in the end. So let me give you an example here. So if we look at my logistics, I have shooting crit rate up, U energy up. I have talent 3. Oh, I have to train a plus 15. Wait, is she not 15? Hang on. Oh, okay, I have to get her to plus 15. Hang on, let me look at another one. Oh, I don't have these leveled yet, that's right. Let me look at another. Okay. So, as you can see here, for talent, there's crit, attack, auxiliary unit strength. Now, for Haru, I believe I don't need auxiliary unit strength. Let me see here. Yeah, I do kinetic damage. I have nothing to do with auxiliary unit strength. So this is a perfect example. So for Haru, let's say I don't want that auxiliary unit strength, right? I could try and do this here. So I can use revision applications to change that stat. So let's try it. Electric damage. Technically I don't need it. So let's try it again. Frost damage. I don't need frost damage, but I'm going to add it. Let's try again. Chaos damage. I don't do chaos damage. Alright, I'm going to do this one more time. Shield construction efficiency. I don't need that either, but I'm going to select it. So, you got to basically roll for certain stats and make sure you get the stats that you need depending on the character. And again, that goes into essentially reading what kind of damage they do. Haru does kinetic damage, so you want to make sure she's doing kinetic damage. Attack percentage is never bad. Crit damage amplifier, not too bad, right? But again, it all depends. But again, as long as you have your operatives leveled up, your weapon leveled up, and your logistics leveled up for your character, that's recommended, because this is what you mainly need, the stats here. If that's correct, you will be doing damage no matter what. Now, we've kind of gotten into the mode where we get into these events, and with each event, there's an event shop. In the event shop, guys, you will see that there are different things that you can get. So let's take Cherno. All of these logistics are great for Cherno. They're actually made for Cherno, literally. So what you want to do is you want to come here and farm to buy these, and also farm for the Halo of Hope, her weapon. Let's look at the details. Does chaos damage, just like who? Just like Cherno. Skills, for each stack of days the target has increased damage. Guess what? Cherno scales off of dazed effect, so this is perfect for her. So for every event, if you roll for a character, make sure you get their 4-star weapon for free and their logistics every single time. Get them to plus 15 or the logistics, and then get your weapon maxed out at level 80. If you do those two things along with leveling up your character, you will do tons of damage. And then it's up to you to make sure you kind of edit the stats of the character, right? So that's huge. So I'll give, let's do here real quick. So I just autoed 7 times. Let's see how much I got. I got 157. So if I do it... Oh, actually, I could get it right now. So I just got the Halo of Hope, and I'm going to equip that on Cherno. And honestly, you want to kind of try your best to clear out this shop anyway. There's a lot of good stuff in here, including gold tickets. Or manifestation tickets, so yeah. But also another cool trick that you could do is when you do trials... Take a look at the character in details. Now look, remember when I said anywhere between 12 to 1500 is when you're doing like crazy damage? This trial character has the 5-star weapon, has the maxed out logistics. Look at the logistics, guys. Take a look. Here's the stats. Alignment index is up, attack plus 7%, chaos damage is up. Look at all the stats. They have all the perfect stats. Now, what did alignment index do, guys? Alignment index affects your Daiwos. And what did I say? Daiwos is the neuronics. Right? So if you go here, that alignment index will buff this, which is Cherno shoots a target, inflicts with 2 stacks of enmity for 25 seconds, deals chaos damage equal to 30% of Cherno's attack. So that gets a boost in damage. So with Cherno, that matters because her alignment index will further make that damage over time, the dot, do a lot more than what it would usually do. So spend time looking at the stats of the character that's under trial, because you're not going to get this 5-star weapon, unfortunately, unless you really like the character and you want to roll for it. Okay, cool. But if you could at least get to about 12, maybe 1300 in power without the 5-star weapon, or in around 1100, I'll say, then you're doing pretty good, right? So definitely observe the character and what stats they have on the trial character, because it'll give you an idea of how you should build your character, right? But yeah, that's about it. So if I had to give you guys a formula in closing, make sure you're doing all the story mode. When you do the story mode, you will get tickets. I don't know how far you are, but you're going to start off with one of these characters because some of you might not have characters from certain events because they haven't done reruns on them consistently yet. So either way, you're probably going to start out with Life, Finny, Yao, Freesia, Marion. Doesn't matter. Cool. Make sure once you get them, you level them up to 80, get them a 4-star weapon. Again, it doesn't have to be the same element status. Life does frost damage. If you have a 4-star weapon that only does electric damage, that's okay. You can level that electric damage weapon up until you get a frost damage weapon and switch. But save that electric damage weapon just in case you get another electric damage user. Again, just make sure you're leveling that up. You're farming logistics. You get the logistics to the correct level, which is level 15. You don't really have to fish for stats if you don't want to. If you want to save it for certain characters, then save it for certain characters on your logistics. But once you get your logistics to plus 15, your weapon to level 80 or whatever max level you are, you're good to go. You're doing very good because what'll matter mostly are these squad perks that you get. So make sure you have matching squad members too. So this is the talent squad. See, talent, talent, talent. So you just got to make sure you have matching logistic squads in order to get the full effect buff of the Akatsuki squad here. Other than that, guys, afterwards, once you've leveled everything up, you should be doing the right type of damage. Let me know if you got any questions in the comments for you new players, and yeah, enjoy. Later.